Hey everybody, it's Tate from Roy's, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make API requests from Godot with the HTTP request node. So I'm going to be showing you two types of requests. I'm going to be showing you a basic request with no parameters given to the website. So something like catfact.ninja allows me to do this. And then we're going to be creating a user essentially with the requests API. So let's get started. Let's go into Godot here, and we're not going to do anything except create an HTTP request node. And then we're going to attach a script to it. And I'm going to leave the script name as default. And then I'm going to go into our HTTP request node, click node, and I'm going to attach the signal request completed. So this will happen when we send our signal out to the web API and we get a response, it's going to call our request completed. So let's connect that to our script and let's pop our script out. So I'm going to explain the request completed a little bit. So first we take in a result. And so this result is going to tell us if our request was valid or not. So if our request went through. Our response code is going to be things like 404 not found. So maybe you made a valid request, but it couldn't find anything. That's what that's going to do. Headers is going to say what type of content you're going to be receiving. And body is essentially what the API returned to Godot. Okay, now let's create a basic request. It's going to be very simple. So let's do a request to the cat fact, and let's get a random cat fact. So let's request, and I'm going to pass in a cat fact website, the cat fact website. So https catfact.ninja/fact. That's all we're going to need. We're going to get the request. We're going to send that off to https catfact.ninja. And this is going to, once the request is done, we're going to call our on request complete. Now, what we need to do is we need to get the data from our request complete. So we can just do var JSON equals json.parse string, and we can just parse the body into a JSON format. Body.get string from UTF-8. That's it. And then we can just print our JSON. That's all we're going to need. So let's go save this, and let's go back into Godot and run our script. So now if I go here, and I move this out of the way, you can see that we have received a random cat fact from the fact API, which is great. That's the only thing you're going to need for some basic APIs. But let's get a little more complicated. Say you want to create a user, or you want to make a login thing. You're going to have to use APIs. And so we're going to essentially create a user on request.in, and it's just going to return user created essentially in our JSON. So we're going to have to create a dictionary. So let's create a quick dictionary for our query request. So we're going to be sending this dictionary to the API. So I'm just going to call this query dictionary equals, and dictionaries use curly braces. And I'm going to just say our name. And the name of this channel is Royas. So I'm just going to do it as Royas in a string. And then this API also takes another thing called a job. And what do? Well, I'm a programmer. And so now we can create our headers to let the API know what we're trying to pass to it. So let's create var headers equals, and this is going to be an array, or yeah, an array. And it's going to just have one thing of content type, content type application/JSON. And essentially that's just saying we're passing you JSON. You know what to expect. Okay, so now we can pass in our things into our request node. So we're going to be passing in our data to https requests.in/API/users. We're going to pass in our headers that we made. And then we're going to say what type of request we're going to make. HTTP client.post, or a method post. Method post. And so what post means is we're sending data off and we're expecting data back. And then we're going to stringify, json.stringify. That needs to be all caps, json.stringify. And we're just going to stringify our query dictionary. And then we're going to get that data back, and it's going to print out the JSON. So that's all we're going to need to send some basic data off to create a user. So let's save. And let's go back into our Godot and run this. So now, if I move this out of the way, you can see our job is programmer, our name is Royas, this is our user ID, and we were created at this time. That's it. That's it for this tutorial. It was a very basic one. Hope you guys got something out of this. If you liked it, give it a like. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.